Warning: the Chaotic Culture Podcast is a program for mature audiences. The language and content presented in this podcast is of a mature nature that some audiences may not find suitable. Viewer and listener discretion is advised.
Embrace the culture, blaze the doja, grab your loved ones and bring them closer. Extra, extra, read the poster, the KKP is taking over. Sleeping on me, better smell the Folgers. I've been razor sharp since the Motorola. Off for O, like the cover Oprah. Popping bottles, feet all in the sofa. It's a celebration, though the times is hard. It's raining blessings, give it up to God. Chaotic culture, the greatest pod. With Ked the Pro, the one in charge. But it's a celebration, times is hard. It's raining blessings, give it up to God. Chaotic culture, the greatest pod. With Ked the Pro, the one in charge.
We're living in a chaotic culture. 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 Oh, we're living in a chaotic culture. 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 Oh, we're living in a chaotic culture. 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 Oh, we're living in a chaotic culture. We're living in a chaotic culture. We're living in a chaotic culture. We're living in a chaotic culture.
Okay, it has been quite the week, ladies and gentlemen, but we back here. We ready to go. I'm tired, but it is what it is. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another edition of the Chaotic Culture Podcast, the pod where chaos rules and Black culture is elevated. This podcast will deep dive into modern Black culture and how millennials and Gen Z can navigate the crazy parts: finances, music, Black business highlights, home ownership, college, sports, Black nerddom, all that and everything in between. Live from the 7-5, I'm the host and creator of the Chaotic Culture Podcast, your boy Ked the Pro, aka the Calculated Millennial, aka the Cutlass Diamond, aka Panda's favorite toxic adjacent king, aka your favorite Shadow Realm consultant. The 843 is me doing it live once again from the 7-5. VA is where I stay. Always toxic, never chaotic on most days. I hope everybody had a wonderful Thanksgiving. Despite how you may feel about the holiday, I just hope that you had enough family time that you got a chance to enjoy your family without sharing, dirty secrets or without, putting your family on blast. I hope they didn't do the same for you. Hope y'all got a chance to eat good food and just enjoy each other's company. That at the end of the day, that's what it all pertains to, and that's what it's all about, man. We ain't trying to like bring up no negative shit. So anyway, for those of you who are listening for the first time, just be mindful that we are a little bit reckless on here sometimes. The interview series isn't really like that, but still, if we cuss, we cuss. I do apologize. We'll try to avoid all the big 4-letter words out there, but no promises. With that in mind, I have a special guest with me today. I'm gonna go ahead and let him introduce himself. I do know that he is a Hamptonian just like myself, so we always got to celebrate our Hamptonians out here. So go ahead and introduce yourself, Calvin.
What's going on, everybody? My name is Calvin Chambers, creator of Icarus Metro Comics. Here to just talk about my books, talk about what I'm about, talk about what I'm trying to produce for the world, and just to vibe out with everybody. So, thank you for having me on the show. And, thank you for, letting me speak my piece.
Hey, man, not a problem. Not a problem. We are excited to have you on here. We went through a little scheduling conflict because it just seems that something kept either coming up or, one of us wasn't feeling good. But I'm glad we got an actual chance to do this shit.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's flu season's a killer, man. We didn't have it last year because of the pandemic and everybody's wearing masks. But now that people are vaccinated, not wearing masks, flu's hitting like wildfire.
Oh, boy. Well, I definitely hope that you are feeling better. I know for a fact I stay masked up regardless of my vaccinations. Well, I am vaccinated. Let me just say that, but I'm definitely staying masked up around these parts because I know people are dirty. I'm gonna keep it like that. I don't trust people like that. So and the pandemic didn't help my I don't want to say that I'm a germaphobe, but it definitely didn't help that case. So yeah, I've definitely just been taking extra precaution, and now we got the Omicron variant out in South Africa. So I'm like, man, I'm gonna have to get a booster.
The what?
Yeah, the Omicron variant. They found it in South Africa. It apparently popped up a couple days ago. So yeah, if I don't know if you've been on Twitter lately, but people have been making jokes about it being the Omarion variant, or if you're a Transformers fan, the Unicron variant. I've seen
man,
it all.
man, they create it didn't pop up in South Africa. They created it in South Africa
I
to try
I
to
don't.
stop Delta.
You know what? I don't have no doubt about that. I would not be surprised. But anyway, man, just to get started, I wanted to ask, of course, what the start of your journey. Let's start from the beginning, man. Like again, we touched on the fact that you are Hamptonian. So, tell us what like brought you to Hampton first and foremost, and then how that culminated into your journey so far.
Well, I went to Hampton because of their engineering program. So my background will always be tech, and I work in tech. So I went to Hampton for tech. I went there for engineering. I actually switched over to computer science while I was there. But just going there, and then when I left there, I was working for a couple of years. I went and got my master's, and I've always been doing that. But it was just like it was different going to Hampton, and then leaving Hampton, and then just seeing like the variety of things that were available to me in the world. Hampton's a little island. You
Yeah.
know, you can barely get out. And you don't really know what's going on until after it happens. And that's the thing I experienced. Now, just to go back into, well, not to go back, but to go into the nerdum side of myself. I didn't know Hampton had a Comic-Con until this year.
Hmm.
At the Coliseum. I
Yep.
didn't know that. So it's like, if I would have knew that, I could see myself living a different type of lifestyle. I could have been doing what I'm doing now back then if I knew, because I didn't go to my first Comic-Con until after I left Hampton.
Mm.
Like, I just randomly saw something. I was like, oh, let me go to that. I went there. I saw Tommy, the Green Power Ranger.
Okay.
I saw Dean Cain, who plays Superman, and I saw John Wesley Shipp, and who played Flash, and he actually still plays Jay Garrick right now. And I also saw Kevin Eastman, created Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. And I see all these people drawing. I see all these people doing different things and stuff like that. Now, I'm not an artist myself, but I could write. I've always been a writer. Like, even during my time in tech, and even before college, I was always writing. I started off with music. I was writing music, I was writing, raps and stuff like that. But it came from stories. I felt like that was the best way for me to express myself and express, the different stories that I have was through music. But I feel now it's actually through stories. So I went to my first Comic-Con, and then I said to myself, I was like, I could be doing this myself. Like, I could be making these books. Like, what's stopping me? Come to find out, the only thing stopping me is money. Because
That's a good reason.
yeah, well, it stopped is money, because, like, all right, so you get a comic book from the store, right?
Mm-hmm.
Comic book about $5, $6, right, per book. Back in the day, it was like 25 cents. I'm thinking, okay, $5, $6 book, I can make this book. But you gotta think about it. The book is all art. And you gotta pay artists to make the book. It's about $100 a page to make a comic book. And if that book is going to have about 28 pages or 24 pages, that's 2,800. That's rent.
Sheesh, I did
That's
not
rent.
realize that it costs like almost
Right.
$3,000 just to make a comic book. Goodness.
Yeah. So doing that, it's crazy, because it's like, all right, I can't afford that now. But I had to have ambition and drive in order to produce that, and because it's not it's a, to me, because I love it, it's a 6-month period.
Mm-hmm.
Other people, they can do 2 months, depending on what they do. Other people, it takes them 5 years to make one book. And don't get me wrong, like, it's great to, like, have a physical copy of your book, to be able to produce. And this is my second book, Icarus Metro 2. And I'm actually like right now like planning like the rest of the series out, just so I just have a concrete outline. Because I was very ambitious, and I actually have a web comic out too that I'm going back to, and I'm actually getting character art for. Um, but like I said, okay, let me put this book out. Let me get this book. Some friends like, hey, let me, kickstart the book, Indiegogo the book, crowdfund. I said, okay, let me try to see how that works out. And it's been pretty smooth so far, man. So I just like to write stories that outline different people's personalities so that people
Mhm.
can relate to other people. Because I know like a lot of people, maybe not today, or not people who are on social a lot, because you see different types of personalities, and we know all sorts of people online, but a lot of other people, especially kids growing up, they see what's only in their environment, and that's how they view life. They view life based off of the people that surrounds them. If they're in a predominantly white community, they view life predominantly white. They view like if they in the projects, they view life like that. If they in a community um, that is toxic, that's how they view life. Now my books, each book has a different moral lesson with the book. And I'm going to carry this out for this Icarus Metro series, like different lessons each book. Other books, it'd be a different like plan to produce the books, but I want to be able to create stories that people can connect with internally, and then be able to say, hey, this character reminds me of my aunt. This character reminds me of my brother. This character reminds me of my friend, so that people can really connect with the book and the characters, so that they're able to um, learn different viewpoints of people's perspectives, and be able to handle or think about life in a different way.
Okay. Hey man, that's wonderful, and that's a really ambitious goal that you have, man. And I think that telling the stories based on different personalities is definitely going to relate to a lot of people,
Mhm.
and that's a really good way to capture your audience here. So just to backtrack a little bit, tell us a little more about Icarus Metro, man, and what the realm of Icarus Metro encompasses.
So Icarus Metro is just like the name of the city area. It's not like the name of a character or the name of like the plot or what goes on.
Right.
The story follows a 10-person led team by and is a female leader, um, and they are just basically like surveying the city, protecting the city, stopping paranormal threats. This is a world where like paranormal activity, magic, aliens, superpowers, everything just exists. And people have different abilities. Not, I wouldn't say it's like My Hero Academia, but more so with a darker tone to it.
Okay.
And with this, there's so much war going on, so much dystopia, underground societies, everything imaginable. But right with this story, I'm only focusing on this 3-city area. And, it's basically like, okay, we got the good people, we got the bad people. How are the good people going to stop the bad people? What are the bad people doing? Why are they doing this? Why are the good people stopping them? What's the relationship between the two? And just exploring that within this to just basically open up the world. This is my first official comic book series. So, as a writer, I want to like expand on this world.
Hmm.
I was very inspired by Game of Thrones. I was very inspired by Bleach. I was
Okay.
very inspired by um, My Hero Academia. I was inspired by like the whole allure of Teen Titans. Like I'm talking about the early 2000s one, because
Oh, okay.
yeah, because you know how in Teen Titans, I don't know if people really noticed it. I mean, people noticed it, but like every episode they fought somebody, and then they ended up giving that person a communicator. And then at the last 2 episodes, they called everybody back from every episode to fight. I think it was fighting Hive or something like that. And I was just like, oh, that's good. That's some good writing right there. I was like, I like that. So I kind of got inspired by that, where it's like, all right, in the story, not all the villains are going to be villains in the long run.
Mm-hmm.
You know? So I wanted to like really like divulge on that. Like, all right, there's always going to be another big bad on top of the people that they're fighting on a daily basis. You know, that they can work together for. So yeah, I was inspired by all of that, and I came up with this world, this idea with my webcomic, and I really just started expanding on it, and I've been expanding on it and working on it since 2016. I started the webcomic in 2017. It was doing pretty good, but it was hard to keep up because, like I said, it was costly, you know. And especially, it's like I'm not sure if you're a One Piece fan.
I'm just getting back into One Piece. So like I started at the very beginning because I knew that I was just so far behind, but because I hadn't paid attention to One Piece in years. So I'm like, all right, you know, I actually like the story, but unfortunately, I was one of those people who
It's a
had their
lot.
experience ruined by Kids WB. So
You mean 4 Kids TV?
yeah, I meant 4 Kids TV. My bad. Yeah, four
Yeah.
Kids definitely ruined a lot of my experience with some of these
Wait,
anime.
wait, wait.
But
Hold on. Before I get into what I was about to say, how did 4 Kids TV ruin you? Because that was my start to One Piece. Well, yeah, like
I
like
think
the
for
One
me,
Piece,
man, I was very aware of how certain anime operated under 4 Kids. So granted, I liked some of the stuff that I saw in the beginning, but for whatever reason, it just something there wasn't clicking. And I think because it skipped over one particular arc, and went almost straight into the Choppers arc before we got to Alabasta. And at that point, I started losing interest. And then by the time
over
we
one
got to
arc.
Alabasta, I was like, okay.
What arc? Yeah,
It was the arc that Chopper was introduced.
it didn't
That,
skip that. I watched that.
no. That one wasn't the one that was skipped. It was the arc before that.
So you said it. So, but it was Romance Dawn. Then it got Usopp.
uh-huh.
Then it was Barati. Then it was Orlong Park. Then it was Chopper. Right?
No, there was another arc that was between Arlong and Chopper.
That was the one that they got Vivi.
Say again.
That was the one that they got Vivi.
Yeah, I believe so.
You didn't skip that.
I didn't see that one. So maybe it was just I don't know. Maybe Cartoon Network had something going on at that time. I don't know, but I know that I didn't see the arc. I just remember seeing like, oh, Vivi kind of just popped up out of nowhere, and you know, Nami is sick out of nowhere. I was trying to figure out what the heck just happened.
Oh yeah. So the funny thing about it, man, they were doing 2 episodes at a time, so that's probably why. Like if you miss like 3 weeks, then yeah, you're gonna be lost. Especially how One Piece operates. But I okay. At least you didn't say I didn't like the One Piece rap.
I honestly I didn't have any problems with the One Piece rap, man. I did not have any I didn't have any kind of what's the word that I'm looking for? I didn't mind it. It was one of those things where I was like, okay, this is typical 4 Kids. I don't have any problems with it. So yeah, there's that.
Yeah, I wanted them to continue it to now. I wanted to see how they're gonna fix the wordplay. But either way, the way One Piece set up the manga is it's a new chapter every week, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we're not paying for this. We're going on Viz. We're reading it for free. We may be reading it on another site, but we're not paying for it. So like me paying out a manga every week, costing about what $300 a chapter. You know, it's not. Someone can't just sustain that. You know, especially in this climate.
Yeah.
Especially with all the things going on, because it's like there's no avenue for longevity. So I took a break on that, and I said, okay, you know, let me figure out like, okay, how can I make this something long term? How can I create something where people can get a introduction to this world? So I came on Icarus Metro. Icarus Metro is going to be a 10 series book. I mean, not 10 series book, a 10 book series. And it's also going to lead into like different spin-offs and stuff. So like once I finish my 10 books, then I'm going to go off and like, okay, you know, I'm having this story, I'm having that story, I'm having this story, and everything's going to be available. Now, Is this going to be a quick process? No, it's not. But with the more collaborations, the more people I can, get to start writing for the universe and stuff, the easier it'll be. Because I know for myself right now, like one of my goals, and this isn't like my professional goal and stuff like that. This is like one of my goals, my personal goals, is to have a brand like Marvel in another 30, 40 years, to have a brand like DC. Because I know Stan Lee, he didn't start Marvel until his 40s. And in the 40s, after he fought in World War II, and now look where it is now, you know. Um, a lot of these stories didn't come around until like maybe the 50s and the 60s. Like, for example, we got Blue Beetle and Young Justice. Beetle was originally part of Charleston Comics that was funded by the Mafia to help fuel World War II. Now, they went underground, and in DC, got the acquisitions for, the character. Now, there are still like public domain versions of, Charleston Comics characters and stuff. And, this is just like, acquisitions of like a lot of stuff. Like, for example, you got Milestone, Milestone, Icon, Static, Rocket, different characters like that, now owned by DC. There's a lot of evolution going on in the comic space and just the creator space as well. When you're creating, it's like, okay, you're not necessarily sure if this is going to last forever, but you're going to at least try to make it last forever. And you're going to keep on expanding. I know for me, myself, I don't like to settle. So with that, I'm just hoping for longevity, man.
Hey, man, that's what's up. And that's what's up. I'm glad to hear your plan in place, and I'm glad to see what you were trying to accomplish. By the way, I remembered the arc that that it said 4 Kids had skipped. It was Little Garden. I don't remember ever seeing that part in 4 Kids, and I had to like go back, and when I in the middle of my reread, that's where I picked up. I'm like, I don't remember this part, and I don't remember this story.
They might have skipped that. That was after they got Chopper though.
Yeah, so
Yeah, they might probably skip that with the two giants.
yeah, with the 2 giants.
I didn't see that before too. My brother was when he started rewatching One Piece. He was watching that, and I was like, "What is this?"
Yeah. So I'm currently rereading, as I said, and I'm currently in Alabasta right now. So I'm trying to just get through that so I can get to the next arc. I started my reread this year because I said I'm going to read One Piece one way or the other. So, I don't like being I don't want to say I don't like being left out. I just don't like having something that I was interested in and then just falling off and not finishing it. So I'm definitely going to do my part to try to catch up at least within the next year. Because I know it's I'm on chapter like what 200 right now, and I know I got a 830 more to go. So
Yeah, I definitely did feel left out, especially Twitter and Instagram and stuff, all the different stuff that was like talked about with One Piece. So I actually, like, it was like 2 years ago. It was a snowstorm out here. I was in grad school. I was working, and I was just like, I need something to just watch on TV. So I remember leaving off for Kids TV days, Cartoon Network days. I remember the last episode I've seen was like sometime in Skypiea. So I was like, all right, I don't know anything. That's after Alabasta. I was like, I don't know, anything that's going on here. So I said, all right, let me start off when Luffy defeated Crocodile in Alabasta.
mm-hmm.
Right. And I started off there, and I got all the way to I want to say episode 890 something in 30 days. So I watched like 150 episodes in like 30 days, just like mindlessly, like absorbing everything, but still working, still doing everything I had to do. Like 2 laptops up, still working, and just having One Piece up and listening. I was addicted, man. And then from there, all the episodes ran out, so I started reading, and they were already in Wano, like in 2000, because this is the same weekend Kingdom Hearts 3 came out. So I want to say 2018 actually.
Okay.
Yeah, they were in Wano 2018. Here we are. We're still in Wano. Yeah, I mean, you got time. Yeah, you definitely got time.
Hey, that's good to hear, man. Good. I realized that I had breezed through like the first few chapters in a matter of a couple of days. I'm like, dang, I'm already at I'm already at East Blue. I was just like, yo, I'm just wow, 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 wow.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm definitely gonna hop back into it and try to get through as much as I can, and we'll see where I'm at by the end of the year, because I know I said I would at least finish Alabasta before the year was over. So I'm definitely on track to do that. So cool. So man, let me hear some of your influences to create Icarus Metro. Like what are some of the things that sparked the idea of wanting to create this realm and to create the characters that you have?
So I like a lot of like action, shonen, and thriller animes. Right.
Okay.
So it's crazy because like it's a comic, right? But like I named most of the inspiration to be anime. I grew up on anime. I didn't
Mm-hmm.
grow up on comics. Only comics I could say I really grew up on was Batman Beyond, Justice League, and Static Shock, and X Men
Okay.
Unlimited.
The,
You
the
know,
the kids WB golden era, I
yeah,
like to call.
the Kids WB 1998 to 2003 era.
Mm-hmm.
So that's like that was my era where I was really absorbing in comics, but I never really like divulged into like the actual comic books. Like I was watching the shows and stuff. So like I really liked like action shonen, Rurouni Kenshin, Yu Hakusho, Inuyasha,
Mm-hmm.
Dragon Ball Z, Naruto, One Piece, Bleach, all the prime Toonami shows and stuff, right? So when I was thinking about like Icarus Metro, I said to myself, I was like, all right, well, it's normal to make a male protagonist, right? But it's not really normal to make a female protagonist in like a lot of anime,
Mm-hmm.
because like if you look at anime, you do a female protagonist, what's she gonna be? She's gonna be crying, she's gonna be busty, she's gonna be all over a guy. Like I didn't really want a character like that. I mean, there are characters like that, but I didn't want that to be like the main character. So
Mm-hmm.
I created a female, half black, half Asian. Her mom's Asian, her dad's black. And she is very goofy, very funny, very creative. In the beginning, she has a lot of self doubt, but later on, she gets the confidence she needs to carry out her task that she's, destined to do. So with that, I created this world centered around her. Like who is she? What are the people? Who are the people surrounding her? What's her storyline? And with this, it started expanding and expanding. Created like the power system, created the deities, created all the activities, which stemmed a lot from Bleach because I love the Espadas. I
Mm-hmm.
love the way they set that up. I love the way they had their little society. My Hero Academia didn't inspire the hero aspect or like the power aspect, but it inspired the um the villains, let's say.
Okay.
Because the way the My Hero villains are set up is they're villains, but they have conscience. Like they're doing what they're doing for a specific reason. We don't necessarily know the full reason why they're doing what they're doing, but they're doing what they're doing for a reason. Like we get like Dragon Ball Z, we get all these other shows and stuff. And what are the villains' reasons for being a villain? I want to take over the world. It's
Mm-hmm.
that's so cut and dry. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like there's no really thought into it. Like so, I wanted to make villains with a conscience, villains with actual purpose. Opposed to just taking over the world, destroying everything, and that's not meaningful to me.
Right.
Um, so the inspiration comes from there, and it was just something I just started building upon. Man. I didn't want to um just create anything just like a regular story. I wanted to make people think. I wanted to get people off their toes. I wanted to make people I wanted to get people to say damn,
Mm-hmm.
like that's messed up, you know like. And it's not even like just a regular story, but more so like the things that happen in the story, the things characters say to each other. Like for example, in the comic, I'm going to have it so it's going to be a part where she has two male friends, right, two male friends, and one male friend she likes and he likes her, and the other male friend, she thinks he's cute but doesn't really like him like that, and he likes her, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what happens is that one of the one that she likes and he likes her, he gets like taken away by a villain, and they think he's dead because he's gone for like 3 4 months,
Oh.
and he's like kidnapped and stuff, right? So over that time, she is training the other dude because he just got powers for the first time. So she's training him. They're getting close. They're bonding. Boom, boom, boom. One night, sleep together, and then the next day, the other guy breaks free and comes back home.
Oh shit.
You know what I mean? So it's like, I want to have. I'm having moments like that. Like that's the type of like energy I want to bring into my stories, like controversial stuff, like as if you're watching Married for the First Sight for the first time. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Some stuff like that. Yeah.
Hey man, yeah, that's definitely some I was gonna say some Game of Thrones shit, but yeah, I'm
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
I'm like shit. You just off the gate put them in a terrible predicament. But all right, I'm definitely interested now. So for the audience here, man, how can they dive into this story? How can they read it?
Oh yeah. Oh, most definitely. You can actually get issue one. You can get issue one on Icarus Metro Comics.com. Icarus Metro 2 is currently on Kickstarter, but we'll also have it available in January. So Icarus Metro 2 you can get in January. We'll have cover A and cover B. You'll be able to get all three covers if you see us at a convention. We're planning on doing a few conventions in New Jersey next year. We're planning on doing Atlanta Comic Con next year. We're planning on doing New York Comic Con next year, either New York Comic Con or Anime New York City next year. And hopefully a Comic Con in Los Angeles. I haven't worked out any specifics for that yet, but we are in the process of doing that. So yeah, you can definitely check out everything right now at IcarusMetroComics.com. You can check us out on Instagram, Twitter at Icarus Metro, Instagram at Icarus Metro Comics, and we're on everything, Reddit, TikTok. So you can definitely check us out there. You can get the copies if you go to our Instagram. And actually, if you go to our website too, you'll be able to see the introductory chapters for our webcomic. If you are interested in just the story, the way the characters develop, you can see a little bit there. The first 9 chapters of Juice, right? Like I said before, we're in a revision process of doing everything over again. But you can basically get a better understanding of the world there for free. And you can get a copy of the book online for $6.99, and you can get the digital copy for $2.50.
Okay, hey man, that's what's up. That's what's up. Speaking of cons, did you end up going to Anime NYC?
Yes, I did. I went there the Friday day. Yeah, it
Okay.
was lit. Yeah, I didn't get a chance to cosplay because like it was like a spur in the moment ticket buy. But yeah, I got there. I'm glad I didn't cosplay because it was like I was out in the cold for about 2.5 hours. It was rough. There's at least 500,000 people just waiting outside to get into that con.
Goodness.
Um,
Well, yeah, considering that it was in New York and you got over
yeah,
8 million people to deal with in general, so I get it.
it was a lot of people, man. But yeah, I got some good stuff, man. Got some Tokyo Revengers jacket. Got me a Hypeland jacket.
Okay.
Definitely definitely enjoyed Anime New York City, met RDC, met a couple of YouTubers. It's something I definitely want to go back next year with a big group, doing like a group cosplay. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, going to conventions, man, like I'm actually really glad I went to that convention a few years ago, man. Best decision of my life because it's like getting together with people you don't know, but you feel like you knew your entire life, you know,
Wow.
because everybody loves the same thing, and you got something to talk about with everyone, you know. you're friendly. You see someone with your favorite character cosplay on. Hey, how you doing? You start talking. You make new friends. Boom. You know, it's just I love it, man. I love it.
Hey, that's what's up, man. Just to relate to what you were saying earlier in the episode, like I realized late that Comic Con did come to Hampton, and actually this past year NecoCon came, and granted I didn't get a chance to go to NecoCon because I was working, and unfortunately I couldn't get off that weekend. But just seeing some of the reactions to these cons that are coming into Hampton, you have some positives, and of course you have some negatives. But it got me excited because I'm definitely going to DreamCon in July, and that gives me the opportunity to like to put some stuff
Try,
together. I
man.
definitely
I try to get those tickets, man. They got sold out so quick, man.
yeah, man, them joints was going fast. Like that's how it
Oh
was when we were
my
trying to
God.
get like the VIP joints the first time around, and I'm like, yo, this joint is like I can't get it because it was in my cart. And then next thing I know, it was gone. I'm like, shit. But thankfully, during that period, the general admin tickets were still available. So I was just like, man, let me just go ahead and grab this one before it's too late.
Like
So,
I wasn't, because it's crazy. Man, I usually have trigger fingers, but I only have trigger fingers when I'm home. Because I was
mhm.
at my family's place for Thanksgiving, right? And I just stayed over there and stuff like that. Because like when that PS5 came out, I had trigger fingers like boom, boom,
Ooh,
boom, 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 exit. I got it right the first release, man, for the PS5, right?
still trying to
But
get a PS5.
uh, but but DreamCon, man, I wish, man, because I was waiting for it. But I guess I'm gonna have to wait till the year after. Um, something for even for you, man, like with those Comic Cons, you said that the two cons that was out there. I feel like you should do like maybe get like a booth and do like live interviews with like people.
Yeah, that's definitely my plan. Especially for the upcoming year, I definitely want to try and get like a booth and try to interview as many people as possible for any cons that are coming through the 7-5. Since I'm still here. Also, you know, I want to get to experience it live and in person because it seems like every time that I want to
You never been
experience
on?
it, either I find out too late or I'm working. Say again.
You never been on one?
Not to my knowledge. I don't believe that I've actually been to an actual like con. So I've been around,
Oh,
and I'll be around the area when people are, out cosplaying and whatnot, but I've never actually, done the actual Comic Con or NecoCon. I just
oh,
be around people and hear stories and try to figure out, if that's, not to say try to figure out that's something I want to do, because obviously it's something that I want to do. It's just my schedule for the last few years has been incredibly hectic. So I'm just trying to make sure that I can piece together and find out ahead of time. So I'm starting to look up these cons and find out when they're coming into town. So that way I know that I can be prepared when they do come into town.
okay. So and this is something for everybody who is listening to this right now. I definitely suggest three things, man. For your first con, don't even do any podcast stuff. Don't even go there on business. Like you got to enjoy that.
Okay.
One, cosplay, right?
Mm-hmm.
Wear whatever outfit, whatever character you love, man. Just go, just be yourself. Two, your first con, man, you need to bring like maybe $250 cash. Just having that in your pocket for just spending money.
Mm.
Because you're gonna want souvenirs. You're gonna see things that be like, damn, I can't find this online. If I find this online, it's gonna be $50 shipping. You know, you're gonna see some stuff. And it depends on how big the con is too. Because smaller cons, you don't really get those big vendors with like great stuff. But bigger
Mm-hmm.
cons, yeah. And three, man, I say get a group. Got to get a group. At least two other people.
Okay.
You know, because you got to have like people to watch your stuff. People, share some food with. If you're traveling for the con, definitely want to split the hotel because that stuff adds up.
You speak preaching to the choir here. So yeah, I'll make sure that I remember. I'm trying to get my co-host Law to come out to DreamCon, but I don't know if he was able to grab a ticket or not. But I'll ask him about it to see if he still plans on it. Hopefully DreamCon doesn't do the drops, that way y'all can grab some more tickets.
Yeah, yeah.
We'll see, because I know that they said that they only are selling a limited amount, so we'll see what happens, I guess.
Yeah, they need to get a bigger venue. They know how much. They know. They know. Come on.
Yeah,
They
they are well aware now. They're well aware of just how popular this has become. Like I think because it was so small for so many years, they weren't really thinking about it. And then last year happened, and it was just like, oh, now you're experiencing a boom. So you got to be. I'm not coming at anybody for RDC World one or anybody that is actually working with DreamCon or whatnot. I could tell that there were a few things that they might have missed that they can improve on as far as selling these tickets, because I think now they realize just how big this is about to be. So I'm hoping that they're able to get things fixed up in time for all of our friends and all of our circle in the anime community to actually go out and enjoy. Um,
Yeah, I feel like DreamCon could be the biggest anime convention in the world if they have the right venue
yeah.
and the right setup. It could be the biggest because Anime New York City, it was big because it was in the Javits Center, but
Uh
like
huh.
it wasn't as big as New York Comic Con. New York Comic Con had everything filled out. This place didn't have everything filled out, and I'm not sure whether or not that was just because of COVID. But New York Comic, it was in the same building as New York Comic Con, but New York Comic
Mm,
Con it was much bigger than Anime New York City. Now I feel like DreamCon could be 10 times bigger. You got RDC like when they won that dodgeball thing, the streams, all these other things that they're bringing in people across the world traveling just to go here. Like I I don't have no reason to go to Texas, bro. I don't got no reason to go to Texas. You know what I mean? But I go to Texas for that. You know?
hey, man. Well, I had a couple reasons to go into Texas. One, because like the folks that I got cool with, with Blurred Mind, with
Okay.
Mike Check Waifu, they're all in Texas, and even with Bland May podcast, like they're out in Texas. So I had a reason to go out there this past summer, and my cousin is out there, and I typically enjoy Texas. Well, at
Mhm.
least the cities. I ain't gonna catch me out there in the middle of nowhere because I know how Texas is, but still, I thoroughly enjoyed myself, and I can't wait to go again to actually experience it. So, with that, man, I did have a few more questions, like as far as
Oh, yeah.
uh Icarus Metro itself, man, how has the marketing been? Because I heard you talk about it. About your process a little bit on the Blur Mind or Inside the Mind of a Blur. So
Yep.
just break down how arduous that process can be.
The process can be very rigid, man. It can be very rigid, very difficult, and very time consuming. Because you're marketing a book that you want people to read. It's like you can't tell people the story, you know, but you want them to buy the book. So how do you go about doing that? Like, how do you pitch the book without giving away too much? So that's the challenge I'm facing, especially being it's a shorter book, right? Because like, here's the thing. For what I told you before, like I like to write books. I like to write stories with a lot of like plot twists, a lot of like what the fuck moments,
Yeah.
things like that. So it could be a regular book. It could be about a guy trying to save the world from an impending apocalypse. But then you're gonna be like, isn't that already done? Hasn't that already been made? Like but you're not gonna know like the different things that are in it that are different from other books because it's the same book. So it's like, how do you pitch the book to a point where people are like interested? So that's like the biggest thing with marketing. Um, and plus, I would say like if you want to really successfully market a book, right? And this is why a lot of people instead of self-publishing, I feel like self-publishing is a new thing that people are just getting into now.
Yeah.
But back in the day, a lot of people would try to get their book to an official publisher to get the book made because of the marketing side. The publishing company they only focus on um, writing the book, getting the content, and producing the actual physical book, right? Um, but the publisher, we're not producing the actual physical book, but producing the book. The publisher will work on marketing, press releases, all those other things. Now, the self publisher have to do all that. So it's like the marketing aspect is, okay, we have this book, we think the book is great. How do we get this book to an audience, right? How do we pay for a marketing budget? How do we promote on social media? How do we get advertisements? How do we do all these different things? So it's like managing all of that is what could be very costly if you want the book to be, like, for example, an Amazon bestseller. Like, I'm pretty sure, like, for those books that are just, self-published, put on Amazon bestseller, XYZ, they're putting in like maybe $40 a day on Instagram promoting the book, doing Facebook ads, Google AdSense, putting all that stuff out there, Amazon ads, make sure the book's out there. But as a self-publisher, you can't really do that because you don't have that necessary budget.
Right.
So that's why it can be very difficult, especially when you're like doing like a Kickstarter campaign, crowdfunding, because a lot of people don't understand what that is. It could be very difficult especially if you're not known, if you don't have a niche, if you don't have popularity online. Like, for example, if you go and you make like a TikTok a day for 6 months and you start blowing up a little bit on TikTok, and now you have a big popularity, people commenting, people liking, people laughing, all sorts of things happening, then you can go on and be like, hey, I got this book, this is me, this is that, right? Now that could be a hit or miss. That could either be people like, this is not his usual content, I don't want to look at this, or it could be like, oh, I want to support, I really like this guy, I want to support his books, right? But like, say you just make a TikTok just for the book and you put it out, and then people are just like, oh, what is this? Just someone trying to sell me something. It's not, you got to build like a community of people like wanting to like and support that content. So marketing can be very difficult if not done right. Now every day I'm learning, every day I'm learning from others.
Yeah.
And with this learning, you got to really understand, like, okay, how can I maneuver different ways to build content, not only for myself but for the brand. So yeah, that's just where I'm at right now mentally for content creation and marketing. But I do know that it is probably the most difficult thing about being a creator.
Yeah, man. As a business major from Hampton, I understand that, the basics of marketing boils down to the 4 P's, product, place, price, and promotion, especially promotion and price. That really goes that really goes into your whole strategy. And ultimately you have to understand, if nothing else, those 2 P's, but you have to of course understand all 4. But when doing your content creating, and that's something that I've learning right now as far as promoting the podcast, is just understanding those 4 P's and how to make it work for your benefit. And it does take a lot of work. So I applaud you for being able to, continuously do this. I know that I've been trying to avoid TikTok, and now I've realized I probably can't avoid TikTok. I'm probably gonna have to like start making some videos and shit like that, and try to promote like what we talk about, because we have some different topics that I think could be we could get the opinions of different people, and on top of the fact that people would be able to love and appreciate the topics that we do talk about and the people that we do highlight. So um that's just something that's just going into my head. So I know that with your comics, that it's especially circulating even right now, like, or how you what you're finding, and how to find ways to make this work, and finding ways to make sure that you're promoting your content is I understand it can be tedious, arduous, and rigid. So I'm just for me personally, man, I applaud you for being able to do all of this, because it takes a lot of work, especially if you don't really have the necessary resources, but you working with what you got. And as we said,
Yeah.
sometimes money does come into play, bro. So like, the more money you get, I've realized with myself, is like, as I'm earning, sponsors and whatnot, all that money that I'm earning is like, all right, I gotta put it into this. I gotta put it into making sure
Yeah.
that I have the right equipment, and making sure that I'm broadcasting on the right channels. It can be tedious. So I'm with you on that, man. I
Yes,
definitely applaud you
yeah.
for doing this.
Yeah, it could be a lot, man. It could be a lot. But if you really want it, man, there's nothing stopping you.
Yeah, man, you gotta go for it. Definitely
Yeah.
gotta go for it. Man, tell us a little bit more about the merch that you got, man. And I'm also seeing these Funko Pops because I saw and I heard I was like, this man got he got Funko Pops. Wait a minute. So I saw on your Instagram page, like, yo, okay, I'm gonna have to support. So tell us more about the merch that you got out here, man.
Okay. What people see right here, I got the Icarus Metro hoodie on.
Word.
It's probably an audio podcast, but yeah, I got the Icarus Metro hoodie. I have actually new Icarus Metro streetwear shirts, so it's long sleeve and a short sleeve. I have a beanie. I got a face mask. Hold on. Got that. I got the streetwear shirt right here.
Okay. Yo, that's dope.
I'm not sure if people can see that, but
Yeah, that is really dope.
yeah, I haven't worn that yet. But so that's the new streetwear shirt. I have this one of the Funkos here. Catalyst. This is one of the characters introducing Icarus 2. So this is my 4th Funko that I had made. So I'm doing a Funko for every character, part of the 10-person team. So I actually have 2 of one character, and because it was like a test run, and I actually have the main character of Icarus 2. Then I have Catalyst. I'm gonna do like 2 every book. So yeah, that's the merch I have right now. I want to expand on doing the merch. I'm actually thinking about getting like an embroidery machine. I like making my own merch, and post like just having like a pressed on design. That way I can get like special hoodies made, and plus I can also like make other anime inspired like clothing and stuff too. So
Hey man, that's what's up. I'm definitely going to be supporting this Kickstarter and definitely going to be supporting the merch that you got, man, because that is extremely dope that you have all of that. And it looks good, man. It really does. So I'm just so flabbergasted. I'm like, man, this man already got Funko Pops, bro. Like I am.
and I'm trying to expand on it, man, because like I'm actually gonna like start putting up my Funko Pops on my site. Like I'm actually redoing my site right now. So when I put up my Funko Pops on the site, it's gonna be like, all right, they're gonna be like special orders, like because they're custom. They'll take about 6 months to get made. So
Bet.
I'm in quick and easy, man.
Yeah, man. I'm definitely looking forward to that. And before we close out, man, just a few more questions here. They're more so, I guess, a little personal. One, how do you feel about your Eagles now? Because I know the last time that y'all did the interview, you was just like, but I mean, I see the Eagles have picked up a few wins here, man. So I'm just trying to figure out, what do y'all see? Because y'all are second in the AFC East right now, NFC East right now. Excuse me, goodness. So, how you think y'all be able to overtake the Cowboys since they've lost 3 of their last 4?
My Eagles, man, they are freaking wild cards, man. I don't look, man. Like I started off this season, to be honest, I started the season like, yeah, it's another season. We got a fresh start. And I do this every single season, man. We got a fresh start, win the first game, boom. Then we just start sucking. Like it's just bad, And I kind of gave up, man. I lost hope. I said, next year, we're gonna be the champions again next year. And now all of a sudden, I'm like, wait a minute, wait a minute. I said, they making a comeback. I feel like we do have a chance to defeat the Cowboys, man. If we do, then we are in a good spot. It just depends on the moves we make from here. The Cowboys, I feel like they got real cocky. They were too confident, man. They were too confident. I don't know what's going on internally with them. I haven't been following them. But with the Eagles, we never had a strong start. Like, we always had a good first game, but like after that, our record would never be a Patriots record,
Mm-hmm.
from the last couple of years. Our record would never be that. We will have losses, and we will have a lot of losses, but we are the people who people think we're going to get knocked out the first round of the playoffs, and we end up going to championship. So like I say, people better watch out, man, because you don't know what's going to happen from the Eagles.
Man, when it comes to football has been so up and down this year, bro. Like I can't even call who will win the Super Bowl this year. I'm a Steelers fan, and right now my Steelers are kind of we've got, when our defense is healthy, great, but when we got people who are out, I'm like, we about to lose. And sure enough, we've been struggling these last two games. We 5-4-1, so I'm in the middle here. Like, we got a chance to make the playoffs. I don't know how far we'll get because we got just the injuries that we sustain on defense. Unfortunately, they're always to important people, and it for me, it's such a huge headache because it's like, okay, if I know TJ Watt is not playing, then I don't really have that much hope. And it's sad to say that you're putting all of your hopes into one person on defense, but that's just me personally because he's such a game changer on our defense. And this is like, damn, bro, he covers up a lot of holes because our secondary right now is it needs work. So there's that. But I mean, there's still a chance to come out on top. Hopefully the Steelers will at least make the playoffs, regardless if they win the AFC North or not. And in basketball, I'm a Bulls fan, so I'm on a high right now. Like, bro, the Bulls have been good for the first time since Derrick Rose got traded, and I'm just so excited to see what this Bulls team does. I know you're a Lakers fan, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I'm a Lakers fan.
Uh,
Yeah.
Bro, that game last night, y'all went to triple overtime with the Kings and lost. I ain't got no words for that one.
I don't know what the heck's going on, man, but it is what it is, man.
Yeah,
Let's say that. It is what it is.
Yeah, man. I'm not the biggest Lakers supporter, but I like Carmelo, and I do want him to at least get one. But the way it's looking right now, I mean, and things can happen because, as we said, basketball is a long season. That's 82 games. Ain't nobody about to like really keep track of all those games. But still, it's not at least for the Lakers, it doesn't look like a very, very promising start. But we'll see by the time the All-Star game rolls around, and we'll kind of get an idea of where everybody is, and we'll see where it goes from there. So man, I definitely appreciate you coming through. But before we sign out, as always, I want you to like promote yourself, promote your website, or you promote your Kickstarter. Let people know how they can again read the comics, how they can support you in your Kickstarter, and if you have any other Black businesses or Black comic book writers or even Black manga writers or anything in general that you want to support, definitely shout them out here.
Okay. Again, everybody, my name is Calvin Chambers, creator of Icarus Metro Comics. You can definitely check out my stories and the books that I've been writing on www.icarusmetrocomics.com. You can get issue 1 there available now. You can get my book, 10 Lessons for a Middle Class Family there. And you can actually read the beginning of the webcomic on Webtoons called Juice with exclamation point at the end. Currently right now I have a Kickstarter running for Icarus Metro 2. Definitely support the lowest tier. You can get a digital copy of Icarus Metro 2 for $5, and you can get double issues for $8, digital copy. You get the physical copy for $12, and so on. As you want to, as you look up for the Kickstarter, you'll be able to get different things for different tiers. So definitely support the Kickstarter. And if you miss the Kickstarter or the time runs out on the Kickstarter, you definitely be able to get a copy of Icarus Metro 1 and 2 together in January. With Icarus Metro 3 and 4, hopefully become by summer and early fall of next year. So yeah, www.icarusmetrocomics.com. Definitely check it out, and definitely check out the story and apparel and everything with it. We appreciate all the shares, likes, and sends posts to different people you believe will love the comics, the stories, and just the content in general. Yeah, so definitely check it out.
Bet, man. How can people follow you on social media?
You guys can follow me on social media at Icarus Metro Comics.
Okay, and that's on TikTok and Instagram.
TikTok, Instagram at Icarus Metro, Twitter. Yep.
Okay, excellent, man. So you guys have heard how to follow him. Definitely go out, support this black artist, support his comic book series, support everything that he's doing right now. As always, our job is to make sure that we highlight black businesses and black artists who are out here trying to make a difference one way or the other. This is a part of our culture, so definitely go out and support this man. As always, we got to definitely highlight some of the other black podcasts that we support. As always, shout out to Worst Generation Podcast, Mike Check, Waifu, and Blaname Podcast. We are official Patreon subscribers to these three. Definitely, as always, check them out. Shout out to the Truth and Transparency Podcast. It's another Hamptonian, my boy Malcolm. Definitely shout out to him. And I'm trying to think of some other ones that are around here. Man, I always, I got to start making a list because there's so many people that I support and so many people that I follow. It's just kind of hard to keep track of. As always, shout out to Inside the Mind of a Blur podcast, the Blur Mind podcast. All 10 of y'all, I believe, and Scholar Supremacy over here. So shout out to her. Let's see. Shout out to the Black Anime Podcast Twitter page, man. If for those who don't know, that they have the directory of all the Black Anime podcasts. I was able to cop some merch from them. I got a dope ass hoodie from them, so definitely check them out on Twitter, especially if you are into anime podcasts. They will at least help you find what's gonna best fit you and your listening experience. As always, shout out to Studio Maho. I'm definitely getting ready to interview Pat whenever I get the opportunity to. We just got to get our schedules together. I'm definitely ready to highlight them. Shout out to Concept Moon as always as well. Strange Keith and them, y'all doing y'all thing over there. I think that is all that I can think of at the moment. HBCU Anime as always, and definitely check out Sundari's page. If you haven't subscribed to her YouTube, definitely check out her videos. Goodness, there are so many people that we support in this anime community and in this content creator community. It is crazy. So with that, I think I've just about covered everything. Once again, thank you to my boy Calvin Chambers for coming out here and doing this interview, man. As always, we will always uplift Hamptonians, especially on this podcast as well. So shout out to him. For our listeners, as always, be sure that you like, share, and subscribe to the Chaotic Culture Podcast. You can like and follow us on Facebook at Chaotic Culture Podcast. You can follow us on Twitter at chaotic_culture and follow us on Instagram at Chaotic Culture Pod. You can follow me, Ked the Pro, that's K3D the Pro, on all social media. You can also follow my co-host Nasa on all social media at _call me Nasa, and you can follow my boy Law on Instagram at l.jr_96 and on Twitter at law96_. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for once again tuning in to the Chaotic Culture Podcast. As always, be blessed, be safe. God is love. Deuces.
Peace.
Look, it's chaos in these streets, so let's talk about it, please. Let's hold some conversation. You see where I'm coming from. Yes, it's so amazing. Go ahead, get comfortable. You can grab a seat, take a load off your feet. Yeah, welcome to the table. We don't tell no lies over here. This ain't no fable. We just live our lives over here. We ain't no angels. We just shine our light over here. We got the power. We just showing love over here. Cause everybody needs some, yeah. And we don't need a reason. Everybody needs some. And we don't need a reason, cause we're living in a chaotic culture. 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 Oh, we're living in a chaotic culture. 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 Oh, we're living in a chaotic culture. 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 Oh, we're living in a chaotic culture.